Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here. Today I'm going to do a video just about a couple of requests I've had from you guys that have commented on other videos. I do really appreciate you popping the comments on there, but some of you guys have said that you've enjoyed my videos when I've done kind of last year's model against this year's model, but I've made the fair point that most guys don't change their irons every year. And we're very interested to see maybe a current model against a model of iron from 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm going to test today the TAYLORMADE PSi, which has just come out, and I've done a review video, against the TAYLORMADE ROCKETBLADEZ from 4 or 5 years ago. We're going to hit shots, we're going to see which performs, and is the new one lots better than the so-called old one. I know for some of you guys 5 years old still feels like a new club, but is there a difference, old technology to new technology? Okay guys, so I've got the PSi and the ROCKETBLADEZ, both 7-iron. I'm going to use the same shaft in both, KBS Tour 105 stiff, ½ inch longer, and the heads are both 2 degrees upright, so these are set up great for me. We're going to hit 5 real balls with each, on flight scope, but as with my last couple of videos, we're going to go more normalized mode just to kind of take the conditions out, because it is horrendous out there at the moment. So 5 shots with these, and we're going to see what difference in the last 4 or 5 years TaylorMade have managed to make with their irons. So I've already compared this with the new Callaway, the Apex CF. I mean, that was some incredible results in there, so watch that video if you haven't already. But certainly for me, this PSi has got not only the slot in the bottom, but also got the slots in the face. So the theory being, should be a bit more consistent, even on those ones that are a little bit off center. And certainly the last couple of years, TaylorMade have probably moved away a little bit from saying that their clubs' irons are just going to hit it further and further. Because personally, I think it gets to a point where how far do you want to hit 7-iron? You know, sounds fantastic if you can hit 7-iron 200 yards, but it leaves not a whole lot of golf clubs from 200 yards and in. So I think there's been more of an emphasis on consistency rather than out-and-out distance. You know, and I think this is a fairly soft feeling golf club. You know, I still think there'll be good players, low handicappers will look at PSi, whereas with other clubs they might look at maybe more of a player's model. But I think this is a very good, usable club, easy to hit. Okay, that one wasn't quite as good a strike, but we can kind of look at averages there. So I'm going to switch the heads over. And like I said, I've been quite impressed with PSi. I think it's performed well. You know, I think it's difficult when manufacturers do change product as often as most of them change product to feel that there's that kind of improvement year on year. And, you know, there's a big difference in time from the new one on the ROCKETBLADEZ. I mean, I seem to remember when ROCKETBLADEZ came out, this was when TaylorMade really started pushing the fact that, you know, these irons are going to hit it a long way. You're going to suddenly hit 7-iron further than you've ever hit it. You know, and yeah, part of that was that with the standard club, the shafts were maybe a little bit longer, the lofts were a little bit stronger. But let's hit 5 with this and compare older technology, and it's not ancient, but older technology to new technology. So, I mean, there's a noticeable difference. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to pick it up on the video, but there's a noticeable difference in the sound. You know, and feel-wise, I think it feels a lot harder off the face. Probably does feel like it kind of jumps off the face a little bit more. And again, I think most guys like that feeling of the ball jumping off the face when they hit a full shot. And certainly, they seem to be going a little bit further. Like I said, I'm not going to use real flight today. It's going to be normalized, so closed data. Okay, probably the first one I've hit so far has been the least good strike with this. One final one. Okay, I mean, good. I mean, look-wise, very different. Feel-wise, very different. And sound-wise, hugely different. I do hope you guys can pick that up on my mic. But let's look at some numbers from Flight Scope and see how Rocket Blades compares to PSI. Okay, so we can see with PSI there, I mean, phenomenally consistent. I think the last video I did, the carry average was 179. So 176, remarkably close to last video. But if you look at the 5 shots, 175, 175, 175, 179, and 177. So even with the slight miss hit in there, you know, very, very forgiving. So certainly the face slots doing their job. As we move on to rocket balls, yeah, certainly first one, what didn't feel great, 170. But then 2, 3, and 4, I mean, they're huge hits for a 7am for me. And then fifth one, kind of where I'd be about. So there's definitely a bigger spread. Now, is that because there's no slots on the face with rocket blades? I dare say that would be the argument from TaylorMade. And if we look at the averages, rocket blades is longer by 4 yards. Swung it about the same. Actually got more consistent ball speed with PSI. Again, I'd argue the technology there. Rocket blades to me just way too low spin. PSI closer to where I would want. Okay guys, so when we look at old technology in rocket blades compared to new technology in PSI, you know, what did we see from the numbers? Certainly rocket blades, when this was out, this was all about bombing it. And certainly on the ones that I really got hold of, yes, that definitely went further. From a consistency perspective, which for me personally is what I'd be looking for, I'm not too bothered about hitting 7-iron 200 yards. I know some of you guys out there will say I'll never do that anyway, but for me it's more about a consistent distance, and I did get a more consistent distance from PSI. Now, is that because of the face slots in the PSI? Yeah, I'm sure TaylorMade will say it is. Did I strike them exactly the same? Probably not exactly the same, and it was only 5 shots with each. So as we go kind of 4 or 5 year cycle, is there a change in the equipment? I think there is, and it certainly moved towards what TaylorMade have said. You know, as I was saying earlier on in the video, they're kind of getting away from the fact that the irons should smash it all the time, but they are saying that they should be more forgiving. Did we see that in this video? Yes. Which was the winner then? I mean, for some of you guys, you'll say rocket blades because you just want to bomb it. For me personally, I'd say PSI because it gave me a more consistent distance, and that's going to allow me to know how far I hit the club, hit it closer to the flag more often. Thank you for watching, guys. Really, really appreciate you watching my videos. Leave any comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on all of the social media. It's all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully see some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.